Hey, good morning. Every week I've been coming on and doing a little video about the 12 card readings that I do for myself and anybody else who's asking, that shows the action and the intention to help us get through the month. And since this is June, in fact, this is the last week of June, I am talking about how sheltering my people and taking care of myself is easy because I'm authentic about it. I do what I know works for me. And that's what today's little video is going to be about. Today is how I am taking care of me. It's taken me a long time to learn how to do that. And recognizing all of the parts and pieces of who I am has taken me a really long time because, to be completely honest, I had a bumpy start. And I didn't really know who I was for a long time. Because I had that bumpy start, I was really tapped into the energies and the actions of everybody else around me to try to keep me safe. And I did that so incredibly well and for so long that by the time I grew up, I didn't really know who I was. I was really good at making sure that everybody else had what they needed, but I didn't really know what it was that I needed. And so eventually I started making art to try to deal with that anxiety, that constant feeling in my heart and my head that I was not on the right track and that I was not capable. And so I started doing art. I started making burlap art like the ones behind me because it's as simple as pulling a string and tying a knot. It is as simple as taking something apart and putting it back together and making beads in the meantime too. This action of doing this is an old practice that I have used for years to rub off that anxiety. And I realized, you can make beads with this too. So I started making beads and I started pulling strings to make burlap art. And that's how I started to heal myself. And then eventually I made magic wands. You'll notice my magic wand is sitting up here in the corner. You can see it right there. That magic wand I started when my son was still in the stroller and we were walking through the park. And I thought, my God, how am I going to be the kind of mom that I always wanted to be? And I saw that stick on the ground. I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I could make a magic wand and focus on being who I needed to be instead of worrying about who I was afraid I was going to become. And then eventually, many years later, I asked no one in particular, well, how am I supposed to get through this? Because I was at my wit's end and I could not possibly see myself going any farther. And I asked, how am I supposed to get through this? And the next thought that came to my head was, your attitude's a lot like the rudder on a ship. And that idea, that whole idea of looking at myself as a ship, charting a course toward a life worth living, that has continued to grow and to expand. And it has allowed me to learn about myself, to recognize all the parts and pieces of who I am so that I could recognize what I want, what I need, what is my heart desire. And what my heart desires is to share all of this, not just to heal myself with it, but to share this with other people. And one of those other people is, believe it or not, it's my inner self. It's my inner child. I didn't even realize until just last year that I even had an inner child. And over the course of this last year, I have been doing work to heal her, heal myself, because that bumpy start that I talked about caused me to be afraid of harm, to be terrified of rejection and abandonment. And so that was why I was so good at focusing on everybody else and showing up to be kind and to be grateful and to perform. And I don't want to just perform. I want to be authentic. And I get to be authentic because this is just who I am. And so I've been showing my little Pam who I am. When I first discovered her, one of the things that I noticed that she asked was, "What happened?" Because she was looking at my face. She was looking at my face because I certainly don't look 6 anymore. And she asked what happened. And so I told her who we are now and what we've been through and all of the adventures that we've had, the scars that we've picked up along the way, but the amazing life that we have now, that we get to love, that we get to share with other people, that we have built for ourselves. And so all of that fear of being rejected, being betrayed, and being harmed. And by sharing this story, I've been writing this in my book, which is the new boat analogy. And I've been writing about this story to share it with everybody else, because when shame is hit with sunlight, it disappears. And so by sharing my story, sharing my healing journey in the book, with this video, sharing these ideas with you, I can heal little Pam. I can heal myself. I can heal that fear with love, with understanding, and most importantly, with compassion. Because that's why I do all of this, so that I can love myself better. Because when I can love myself better, then you can love yourself better too, because you're not alone in this. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is that you are healing, whatever is on your plate is not too much for you. You're meant for this. You are not alone. You are understood. And you have a place in this world. You deserve to be here. And so as I'm sitting here imagining my little 6-year-old Pam and telling her this story of who we are and all the cool stuff we get to do in this world now, I want you to consider doing the same. Take a look at who's in your heart. Whose fear is it that you feel when you're holding back, when you're afraid, when you're unsure of what comes next? Use your words to tell that little one the story of who you are now and how far you've come. Explain the scars and show them how far that you can come, even though you've been scared, even though you've been through difficult stuff. Share that love and grow it. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for listening to this. I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention. If you've got something going on, if you would like to chat with me for a card reading, or if you're interested in an art class, or you're interested in that boat analogy and you want to know more about the book, I would love to hear from you. And in the meantime, you be really good to yourself. Tell yourself how far you've come. You've got a long way to go still, and you have a lot to offer. Thanks for being here. I love you.